Crit status active. Orbital status standby.
What is up, Guardians? We are back with a brand new episode of Cosmodrome Radio for you good people, broadcasting on all frequencies. We are here talking about our favorite game, Destiny 2, talking about all the newest news with it. Make sure that you follow us on your favorite podcast platform of choice, whether it be Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We have a lot of people listening to us on Spotify, so shout out to Spotify, folks. But make sure you listen to us wherever you are. Make sure you sub on Spotify. You can even rate us. So if you want to rate us and help us boost our stuff and whatnot, and same thing with Apple Podcasts, if you want to leave us a review, please do. And
Don't forget to check out our Twitter.
That's what I'm about to say. Yeah, check us out on Twitter. Check us out on Twitter. Make sure you follow us because I was actually on our Twitter today, like retweeting the twab and whatnot. Because man, we're about to talk about that twab.
That twab. Rift be gone, kinda.
Okay, no. Let's go ahead and get into it. My name is Pan of the Paladin. We have Prismatic. How are you doing in your recovery?
I'll be okay. I'm getting there. The fatigue is real.
Fair enough. Toll, how is your bounty grinding going?
I hate bounty grinding. You'll hear me bitch about this later.
But think about all the benefits. Think about all the benefits we're gonna have for the raid.
It's
gonna
great.
be nice.
But we need a new way to do it. We
really do.
It's nice. Go
ahead.
What?
It's nice, but we just.
I've been trying to cut off Toll.
Oh no! I finished what I was saying.
Okay. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and dive into this twab because this was an interesting twab they released today. I'll cut out I'll say the cool thing first. If you do get the Bungie newsletter, make sure that in your email, make sure that you are tuned into it because later in the month they are going to be doing a really cool thing where you vote on which exotic is going to be getting a new ornament in the shop, which I'll talk about that in a second. But the reason why I think it's cool though is the fact that you can vote on on which exotic gets an ornament, and then they're gonna work with a D2 fan artist in the community to design a few different ideas of what the ornament can be, and then later on you will vote on what the ornament is. And then you will be able to purchase the ornament later on in season 21 or something like that. After
it's going to be in season 21.
Nice.
So
my thoughts on this is vote Rat King.
No.
Yes, Rat King needs a new ornament.
Doesn't he already have 3 or 4 ornaments?
See, I'm mad they chose Arbalest because Arbalest already has 4
Arbalest
ornaments.
Just had the best ornament come out this season for it.
Yes, it has perfect aim for it. You can abuse it in PvP if you're a dick. You can do that.
Scope from Call of Duty.
Legit,
you can't go wrong with that.
It's perfect. But honestly, I kind of want to see Sweet Business get another ornament because that black variant that came out with a while back was pretty nice. So I want
Rat King all the way, baby.
Oh my! You don't even use Rat King.
No, I don't. But
I'd use it if I had more friends that would actually use it with me.
That's fair. But the reason why I'm not fully supporting the vote, which I'll vote, I'll probably just vote Sweet Business to oppose Toll. But the reason why I have an issue with it is if it's a fan creation and the fans are voting on it, why are you gonna make people pay money for it? That's where I have issue with it because if we weren't paying money for it and it was just something. Now, if they come out and say, oh, the money that is raised from it, a cut of it will be given to the artist, then okay, bet I'm in. But right now, I'm very much I don't know how I feel about this, if that makes sense.
You know what I mean? They should just put it in the season pass. Make it.
Have we ever gotten an ornament? Well, we get the seasonal ornament or whatever.
Right,
we don't
get the season one, but why not make that in season 21? Make that a free ornament you get.
That'd be kind of cool. Especially because like by then we'll have gotten the new premium edition of the game with Lightfall, so people will have to like either buy the battle pass or do whatever to it.
Well,
They
no,
have
this would be in
time
the
to
free
play.
track.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that could work. I'd be down for that. Yeah, that makes sense. So vote sweet business. Just do a post poll. But
Rat King all the way, baby. Rat King gang.
it's just such a meme. Like, why would you want Rat King? Like, I get so angry
So
when people.
meme it. I want the meme. I'm sorry. I need.
Especially with like now that like you can combine art like echoes with it with void hunters and increase your invisibility. I hate it even more. So like burn Rat King. Honestly, I would have wanted like a different gun besides Arbalist. I feel like they shouldn't have chose Arbalist. Like if if they would have been even more petty and said, "Yo, let's get another Jotun ornament," I'd have been like, "Bet, let's go."
You know what I think they should make an ornament for? They
What?
don't really make ornaments for the Cerberus 1.
I don't know about that one. But all right, like
That's my baby.
See, Cerberus one, like I think that gun is so bad, but then randomly it'll kill me in PvP, and I'm just like, why do you exist? Like legitimately, why do you exist?
When I played for a while, that was my gun in PvP. I got the catalyst for it. It's great.
See, I would love a new ornament for DMT just because I'm not a fan of any of the ones that are out.
See, like honestly, I love DMT, but the problem with it is it already looks so much like a cowboy gun. Like the base version of it looks like an ornament. Like it looks like it should be an ornament for a different color. And like the one they made for the Halo thing arguably has the best has the best scope in the game, but I hate that it's Halo themed because I'm not a fan of Halo. So it's like
what?
I'm not a big fan of Master Chief. I love Destiny, but I'm not a fan of Halo. I was never an Xbox kid. Like I can enjoy Bungie's other products. Damn it! Like I'm not a fan. I'm sorry.
I never got to play Halo.
Like, you can
my
kill
dad
me.
and my brother monopolized it, and I just watched from the background.
Oh, you know what? You get a new ornament.
What?
You get a new ornament. Borealis.
Bro, what is with people in Borealis? Yo, Borealis, like the Borealis like TikTok account follows me. I'm not throwing shade. I just don't get the hype behind. Like
it's a sniper rifle that has any it can shield break anything. Great.
That's weird.
That's why the hard light is still so popular.
I mean, yeah, and that's why Dead Messenger is now so fucking popular.
I was sleeping on that gun. I did not realize how fun it actually is.
So good. So good.
So good.
See, now that we're sitting here thinking about it, I'm like looking at the list of exotics on friggin' Light G. You know what I really think needs a new friggin' thing? Whisper of the fucking Worm. Whisper of the Worm needs an ornament so bad.
Whisper of the Worm needs saving.
Yeah, it needs saving. Like, can Bungie, can we eliminate this whole thing? Like, same thing with Darcy. Can we eliminate this whole thing of like sniper rifles being heavies? Because like I know you're afraid of the idea of like replenishing ammo, but and it was so funny is at the beginning of the season they said that like they're gonna boost Whisper's aerial effectiveness stat. Like who's using Whisper in like jumping? Like who's using Whisper while jumping? I really want to meet this person. So it's like if they would make Whisper and Darcy be like normal special weapons, they would be a lot worth more. So
now I'm going to ask the question of what about Legend of Acreus?
See, Legend of Acreus, you keep wanting Legend of Acreus to do a thing. Like I feel like I feel like I'm in Mean Girls. Like stop trying to make fetch a thing.
I'm sorry. I'm going to try and make Cerberus 1 and the Legend of Acreus a thing because they should be.
Fair enough.
I think in Black Spindle is a special, so Whisper of the Worm should be special.
I agree. So that's our little like fun thing about the TWAB. The other thing about the TWAB is
Rift
Bungie going
kind of.
So Rift be gone. Bungie actually admitted they messed up in the TWAB, and like they're actually listening to something that I said on a previous episode. and on TikTok. So thank you, Bungie, for listening to me. I don't know if you actually listen to the show. We're still new, but like,
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. But like, thank you for listening to the community, because here was the big issue they admitted. They said flat out, we kind of messed up by making Rift be the new, like the new Iron Banner. Which, yeah, because you should have done what you did with Zone Control this season and made it a Crucible Labs. Because the first, like they even said, excuse me, in the TWAB that there were so many issues the first week of Iron Banner where there was like people were getting like locked in to where it kept respawning them and resetting every few minutes. It kept you couldn't pick up the spark occasionally. You couldn't dunk the spark sometimes. The spark radius was too big sometimes. It's like there was so like the timer would never run out. It would just keep, you know, even if you hit 0, it would still keep letting you play.
And then the match would be messed up.
Right. So it's like they admitted that they shouldn't have made this brand new game mode they're porting from D1 and made it Iron Banner, especially when they said, hey, we're going to take Iron Banner down from like 4 runs per season to 2. And which I still debate that was a mistake, because you have very sought after guns, which ironically enough, Peak Spawn and Archon's Thunder are leaving the rotation next season. So all these people who are going to have Peak Spawn. Oh, no one gives a fuck about Archon's Thunder. It's Peak Spawn. That this sidearm that just shreds in PvP is just gone now, and newer players that came in this season, or even the beginning of Witch Queen with people who came back, are never going to be able to get this sidearm after this season because you lowered the Iron Banner amount.
They should have just made it 3. I'm still under the belief that they should have just given us an extra week of Iron Banner because of how
many issues we had.
That first week, just give us an extra week of Iron Banner. I don't.
They should have just left it at 4. There was no reason, because here's the controversial opinion about just Destiny PvP in general. Trials of Osiris, despite me being a big Osiris and St. 14 fan, should not be the most dominant thing in PvP, because that only shows, hey, you can kill 3 people and boost your KD. Because did Osiris get his own like expansion and like have his own thing? The Curse of Osiris was, but that wasn't the theming. Rise of Iron was an OG D1 experience, and it should be something that's every weekend. It should be an objective-based mode where there's enough guns and armor that people care about, and should be the weekly mode. And actually, it should be Clash. It should be Clash. It should be 6v6. People like go up against each other and kick butt, and that's what it should be. But instead,
it's going to be.
You're saying that we should.
It's not going to be.
Which we'll talk about that in a second, which is very funny. But it won't be for a while.
Trials in Iron Banner.
Yes, I've had that opinion for a long time. That Trials should be like once in a blue moon, and like it should be an objective based one as well. Because that's why when everyone complains about like Capture Week, I'm like, no, this is what Trials should be. But whatever. I think that Iron Banner should be the mode that we covet the most, because the Iron Lords were the most like the original Guardians. They were the ones that did all the stuff. Radagast and all these people like Fellwinter, who was literally an AI version, exo version of freaking like Rasputin, who became a Guardian. Like all these people that we have in like high regard in the lore, that should be the mode that is coveted by players. But because of the sweatiness that is cultivated around Trials, no one cares. And now because Bungie has said we only get 2 per season, there's all these guns right now, where that new SMG, freaking the new fusion rifle, just
the Wizkin Rebuke. The new fusion rifle is the
Wisdom Rebuke,
and the new SMG is the Hero's Burden.
Thank you. The telescope sniper, which no one knew was good for so long, because back when it was in the rotation, there were so many guns in the Iron Banner rotation, no one could get a good roll of it. So when everyone started to covet the occluded finality sniper rifle, by the time it rolled around where people knew it was like a good sniper, no one could get it. So there were so many guns in the rotation, you could never get a good roll for it. So we're in this situation where like there was a message, there was a pulse rifle, a scout rifle, an SMG, there was P-Spawn, Archon's Thunder. Like there were so many guns plus armor in the old engram system for Saladin. No one could get any of the rolls. There was Reese Walker. There was so much, and now we're in this thing now where now you can focus engrams, but none of the coveted guns are available now. Which I still think that's a mistake. But we already talked about that. So I really feel like we should go back to Iron Banner being, or go to a point where Iron Banner is the main focus. But with them admitting this mistake of making Rift Iron Banner, they're saying, hey, we're going to make improvements to Rift. We're going to put it in the same rotation with like Momentum Control and Team Scorched and whatnot. And then we might revisit it as Iron Banner later, which I think is a really good idea. I don't know how y'all feel about that.
I think Iron Banner should be on a rotating playlist. So you click on the Iron Banner, there you have Control, the new game mode Eruption, and then Rift. You don't know what game mode you're going to get until you load in. Okay. That way, they can still have other game modes, but it allows more variety, so you're not stuck with one thing.
Okay.
And then you can, every season, you can rotate the game modes out, add new ones in, bring new ones, add new ones in, take some out, bring an old one back. That way, there's a variety of game modes for Iron Banner.
As somebody who absolutely hated Rift, I would hate that. No. This is me. This is me as somebody who does not leave Crucible matches almost ever. I loaded into my first Rift match of Iron Banner this past season. It died immediately to snipers all the way across the way, having no idea how to play the game mode. I left. I left my match. I was like, no, I would rather eat railroad spikes than play this.
Fair.
Well, and the reason why I had issue with Rift being it, because when Saladin first came into the picture, they said that Iron Banner was a contest of old. And I'll keep it a buck, especially with Zone Control coming back and being in the Crucible Labs this season. I think Zone Control should have just been Iron Banner from jump. And or just kept it Control, because truth be told, I'm one of the few people that actually plays the objective in Control. I'm someone who's like, yo, like Prismatic and told you too. They actually, instead of just killing and focusing on killing, because there are people that will literally just only kill and never capture a point, to the point they'll have more points than the other team, despite being in a shutout where all the captures of the other team. But if it's Iron Banner where you're locked out and the other team gets more points and it is awarded for capturing the points, that should have been the game mode. That should have been the evolution. Like, Clash should be the main game mode of PvP. And then Iron Banner should be Control, where it's sweat, it's hardworking, you're going in, you're doing the thing, you're being the objective, and you're doing the contest of old. Or it's the reverse, where Clash is the game mode. But then, Bungie said, yo, we're going to invent a new version of Clash, where... This explanation killed me. Told you want to read the opening paragraph of the explanation?
Let me
I will say too.
You should.
I was so confused when I read this, so do not feel bad.
It was so weird because, I wasn't told to read this because I feel like he'll make it exaggerated. It'll be funny real quick.
All right, so I gotta loading up. This week at Bungie, Iron Banner 411. That's how they started it, and I was like, oh boy. What are we getting into? So, you get the ability to gild the Iron Lord Seer with the next batch of matches in Valor's Forge Honor. Blah, blah, blah. Alright, so it starts off with... the core vision started with a conversation that sounded like, what if we went on kill streaks? And I'm like, Destiny's not Call of Duty. What is going on?
Yeah.
And it's like Saladin's just... They're just like, what if Saladin's voice actor said some random stuff?
Like, he's on fire!
And you light on fire. Boom, shakalaka! That sounds like something that Shax would say.
Yes, it does.
And so that's how the new game mode,
Eruption.
That's what they're calling it. Eruption. It's Clash with a twist. So dumb.
So, like they said, what is Eruption? Eruption is Clash with energy boost based on kill streaks. And the idea behind it is, say you get a bunch of kills, and then you'll become surging, which is like you're on fire, and you start glowing, and then like for every kill you get while you're surging, you get 10% more super energy and 20% more grenade, melee, and class energy.
And you score 3 points. Now the way you get surging is by going on a kill streak. So you go surging, you get 2 kills in a row without dying, and then when you get your 5th, you become primed. Mm-hmm. So you glow brightly. Your team goes on the hunt, which I was sad they took that away in Rift. I was like, there's no hunt. It should have been you score a point in Rift and then you go on the hunt.
Mm-hmm.
So now your team gets 5% super and then 10% grenade, melee, and class energy. But you get 12% super
and a 15-second timer,
and you still score 3 points. Yeah, that's the other thing. You got a 15-second timer, and if it reaches 0, you explode. But don't worry, getting a kill resets it.
But my thing is, what happens? Like, what stops the timer? Oh yeah, so sounds great, right? So who would be? So if you become primed, you have 15 seconds, and then you just explode, like you die. So like regardless, so it's basically like, hey, you're awarded for getting kills, and then you die.
Also, the whole team can see you.
The Call of Duty had a game mode kind of like this, called Cranked. You would get a kill, and then in a certain amount of time, you'd have to get another kill, and you'd have to keep going, and then you'd explode. So it's kind of like that.
The TWAB says that once you're primed, it also your 15-second timer starts, and you also become highlighted for the enemy team, kind of like in Gambit if somebody shoots you with an invader perk. So when I was talking to Adam about it, it kind of became like, oh, the whole team highlights you to try to rush you, to fuck you over, but then they're also pushing them towards you so you could potentially get more kills to reset your timer. I'm saying right now, if I ever get surging or primed, just stick a fork in me. I'm gonna die. Like, I almost never go on kill streaks. If I get primed, fucking that's it. I'm done.
So either way, you're gonna die, because either you're gonna blow up or the enemy team is gonna see you and kill you. That's what I don't understand about this mode. It sounds weird. No, go ahead, Toll.
And then more than one player can be primed at a time.
Oh, that's even more chaotic. Oh my god. So that's what has me so weird. Like, I will say this, and I saw Frostbolt, a streamer, put it on Twitter. Like, yes, good Bungie, make more game modes. People need more game modes. Good job. I will award you for this, but I don't understand. Like, what's happening? What are you doing? Can you elaborate? Because why do you just want people to explode? Now, granted, in Rift this season, during the second week of Rift, where there was a timer, and if you were holding the spark, you exploded. That was a cool way to stop people from playing Keep Away. I will give you that. But this just sounds like a mess.
I need to play it before I think what I want to do is, once Iron Banner comes out, after that week of Iron Banner, I want to talk about it, because I want.
Well, it's not going to be Iron Banner. They said that this also is going to be in Crucible Labs. We're getting control back next season for Iron Banner.
Yeah, they're gonna test it out first, and then once they know what works and what doesn't, then they're gonna bring it to Iron Banner. So we probably won't see Iron Banner Eruption until season after next.
Yeah, because they that's what we're talking about. Like, they said, yo, we learned from our mistakes. We're not going to throw an experimental game mode into Iron Banner when there's only 2 weeks of Iron Banner. Which I don't know how I feel about that.
Wait,
but
it's not the game mode next season?
No, we're getting control back. We're getting normal Iron Banner, original Iron Banner back.
Are they bringing back the power level enabling though?
No, but which I still think is a mistake. They're leaving out like power levels, like artifact levels, or just light enabled content regardless, because. The idea behind, like, I will give Bungie the benefit of the doubt. They are thinking about new lights when it comes to this game with Iron Banner. Where they're like, we don't want you to just immediately die going into Iron Banner when someone's like super higher light than you. But here's the thing, which goes back to my original point. We should be caring about Iron Banner more so as a higher prestige game mode and not just say, yo, you can bring whatever light weapon inside, you can be 13, whatever, while someone's 15,
Mountaintop
17.
time.
Like mountaintop, like any weapon that's sunset because Bungie refuses to disable sunsetting. Like you can have mountaintop or freaking Mindbender's Ambition in Iron Banner now, and like in which mountaintop is a really high powered grenade launcher from its time, and Mindbender's Ambition was a really powerful shotgun for those who don't know. But like, I'm very concerned about why are we doing this when it comes. Like, I understand why you're doing it. I'm confused as to why are we not just telling New Lights to go play Crucible and do other playlist stuff, then come back to Iron Banner once you're high enough light and can grind your pinnacle. That's my confusion, because that system worked. Like, can somebody help me out?
With trials, if you're gatekeeping it against like, hey, New Lights probably shouldn't play this game mode, people in the community are going to complain. I'm with you in that I agreed with the power level enabling, even though it pissed me off, and I want Iron Banner to be control, because my whole thing every season, I knew exactly what was happening. I would go into the first Iron Banner of the season, get all my shit done, and then not have to go back in there and with having to use certain guns or get certain things done when all these other people, all these other, no life people that have grinded all this shit out and are super high levels now can just pick me off across the map. Like, I could get everything done first Iron Banner of the season, and it was more of a level playing field. I don't care. I didn't care for Rift, and I didn't care for them getting rid of the power leveling, because that to me was what made it feel actually like a competition.
It just, because it wasn't to punish New Lights. In fact, it was never about that. It was about, hey, this is for people to grind Pinnacle because they have hit power cap, or like this is for people to get their higher light gear and to grind for weapons. We're not saying you're not valued. We're saying get some other stuff done, then come play this
Saladin
mode.
talks to you of like, hey, prove yourself. Iron Banner was a way you could do that.
Right.
That's a great way to put that. You just summed it up right there. Like, good job.
It doesn't hold the same kind of esteem as like rolling up into the tower with like glowing, flawless Trials armor, but it actually felt like a competition. Like, you could actually, roll up and be like, oh, I've busted my ass in the game, and now I'm actually kind of going to get rewarded and get to, fuck shit up.
And not only that, you just made a really good point. You know what we should do because you know how they said with the new Iron Banner armor, you should, like when Saladin's here, it turns on
bring
fire.
Bring back those
that
ornaments,
should be
please.
What
I
happened.
have them in D1, and it looks so cool.
Well, that's what they did with the Iron Forerunner stuff, which is it catches on fire when when Saladin's in the tower. But A, they need to retroactively go back and make it so all of the Iron Banner armor does that. But B, that should be what happens if you get a win streak in Iron Banner. Not just, oh, Saladin's at the tower, my shit's on fire. It should be, hey, I've accomplished some wins, or I finished the quest of the season. I'm on fire. That's what it should be. But whatever, it's fine. There will probably be more talk about Iron Banner later, but we have a big ass list to talk about today. That was the two big things of the swap, is that they're going, hey, we're going to be changing some things up. We want to stop people. Also, they want to stop people from from doing certain things. What I'm excited about, though, with Rift coming out of Iron Banner, is they're going to be putting it back in the rotation of just like Team Scorch and whatnot. But they even said they're going to make it so it's enabled in private matches, so they can start testing 3v3 Rift. I'm like, ooh, that sounds fun.
I'll pass.
But like, think about 3v3 Rift on a smaller map, like Ultra Flame, though. That kind of sounds
I'll
fun.
pass.
Oh yeah.
Why? Do you just like not like? Did that wasn't that bad of an experience that you just burned out on Rift?
Crucible match. I know you can't fully like grasp how weird that is for me. I don't leave anything when I'm losing. I don't leave Crucible matches, even if I load in and it's like, you're about to get mercied in about 2 seconds, bud. I don't leave Gambit matches when that shit happens. I mean, I don't leave stuff. A, I don't want the penalty, but B, like, I don't. I'm like, I'll stake it out. I'll do what I can. Like, I'm a team player. No, when I walked in and it was 5 sniper eyes looking at me and I just immediately was deleted, I was like, I'm done. Nope. Don't have the fucking capacity for this.
Okay. That's fair. Okay, so the other big thing, so now we're gonna move on to a topic that is kind of really important because, actually, no, we'll do the new light talk at the end. We'll have some fun right quick. We'll talk about Arc 3.0. So the original point of this week's episode was going to be Arc 3.0 predictions, and then things just kept piling on. Like, Paul Tassi made some videos, and then data came out of retention, and then the TWAB came out, and we're like, okay. So,
well, TWAB always comes out. We always talk about the TWAB.
Well, we knew the TWAB was coming out, but everything else happening was kind of like, oh my god. So we're going to talk about some things. So Arc 3.0 is coming out next season. We know Arc 3.0 is coming out. And we wanted to talk a little bit. I'm going to play devil's advocate for Warlocks because we don't have a Warlock representative here. But and that way the whole show isn't me and Told just going Titan shit. It's like because we're Titan. But
hashtag save Arc Hunters.
Bro, I'm gonna let Prismatic
be saved.
I'm gonna let Prismatic have the floor because, what do you, as a hunter main, what do you want from Arc 3.0?
I want an Arc Super that is on the same level as Missile or fucking Kamehameha. I want an Arc Super that can do a fucking distance attack. I want an Arc Super that actually makes me want to play Arc. The only time I slap on Arc is if it is the weekly burn when I do strikes. And I almost never use my super. It is not appealing to me at all.
You have 3 different supers that are all a freaking bow staff.
They're gonna combine into one super.
And I know I'm probably just praying to the fucking ether here. I want hunters to get something that would be the equivalent of Missile or Kamehameha. Give us something with a little bit more distance with Arc. I know we have, we can throw Blade Barrage, or we can throw our Tether. It doesn't have the same effect.
The bow. Yeah, your Tether. What would it be? You could do like an Arc Spear or something.
Turn it into a javelin or something. I mean, shit, we got to play with the Rasputin javelins, but right. I want something besides here. Let me fucking ninja run across the map with my giant staff. Ooh, I'll be a cool spin and I'll flip over and maybe dodge. Who knows? And the pole dancing jokes was really funny.
Some people have said y'all should get the blades back from D1.
It wouldn't be exactly what I want, but it's better than pole dancing, in my opinion.
But, okay, here's my... Well, I get what you guys are coming from. That's basically what Spectral Blades is. I can't even tell you.
That's fair. That's what a lot of people have countered with it too. Is if y'all get the D1 Arc Blades back, it's just going to be Spectral Blades in a different color.
Like I said, pissed all over again.
Yeah.
It wouldn't.
And Hunters are the biggest group of Guardians
in the game.
So why not just
make
give them something fun?
Relevant 2022.
Literally, it sucks for you guys because literally the only reason why anyone uses Arc Staff and Crucible is because they found out you could redirect super. I remember what was it during the height of Stasis that someone found out you could redirect a freaking Hunter Tornado with Arc Staff.
Yep. So but then Titans had the boots that do essentially the same thing. Yeah.
Antithesis Ward.
Antaeus Ward. Well, Antaeus Wards don't redirect the tornado. They just redeflect damage.
Yeah, but it's still you can at least redirect a Jotun shot.
No, you can't redirect a Jotun. You can tank a Jotun shot. You can't redirect a Jotun.
You guys don't need anything else. Don't give Bungie ideas.
Yeah, no, that'd be insanity. Which let's talk about the Titans for a second because since everyone TikTok wanted to come at my ass, I'm gonna say it again. I am one of the best Titans in the game. I will stand on that fucking hill. But because freaking people on TikTok got mad at me for talking to Jade Rabbit Emperor about because he wanted to use a certain build in PvP. I was like, bro, why didn't you call me? I'm the best Titan. Like holla at me. And people got mad. But you know what? It's fine.
Jade Rabbit, if you ever listen to this, complain.
The 44 stuck.
Just come be on the podcast.
He has agreed. We just need to put it on the books.
But the issue. We do need to do that. But here's the main thing that there's two things that I want from Arc 3.0 for Titan. Because everyone just keeps going, oh, you already have Curious, you don't matter. No, here's the main issue with Titan, with Arc 3.0. Make Fists of Havoc do something. Because here's the because here's the same issue, and I wish we would have had the podcast before Solar 3.0 came out. Because here's the big issue that no one wants to talk about. Bungie didn't do a lot with Solar Titans because they are afraid of Bonk. They were afraid of what Bonk Titans do with the shotgun and the hammer, with 1-2 punches in the hammer. And now, accidentally, it's to the point where they don't even need the shotgun. Mm-hmm. They just use Synthoceps and the Bonk hammer. So, unintentionally, they got what they were afraid of, and they did nothing with it. All we got with Solar 3.0 was a lot of healing and a cool melee, which, to be honest, they just recycled it from the stasis melee and gave it a...
I'm sorry.
That's all they did. And there was nothing unique about it.
You either get that, or you get Soul Invictus, Roaring Flames, and it's like, give me my Soul Invictus and Roaring Flames, please.
And I even made a whole rant the day Solar 3.0 came out when there was so much you could do with Solar 3.0 for Titans. You could buff sunspots because right now they only do 75 per tick because you took them down from 150 per tick when Loralee came out. But you could compromise. You could make it be 100 and make it be enough because still we have a problem where sweaty toxic hunters, I'm not talking about the charismatic, I'm talking about actual sweaty hunter. PvP hunters. To rush through barricades thinking they're invincible and will sometimes still survive a sunspot and a barricade. People aren't afraid of the Titan. They think they can still kill us, and there's nothing we can do about it. Solar 3.0 should have been the reckoning of and everything, because it was to the point before Solar 3.0 came out, where no one used Solar in PvP. I did it as a meme because Synthoceps and Sunspots could kill people, but no one else did it. So, granted, now with them buffing, I keep cutting Toll off. I'm so sorry. Go ahead, Toll.
I haven't been saying anything.
Oh, I thought you said something, but I'll finish my point then. I'm sorry. But it was because now we kind of can use Burning Maul to do a thing. But okay, cool. They buffed Burning Maul. Whoop-de-freaking do. You didn't give us anything unique. You can't there's no cool you didn't do something crazy like how you did with the Warlock grenades. You didn't give us a whole new boost like you did with the Hunters and the gunpowder gamble and whatnot, or you didn't buff one of our supers the way you did with Blade Barrage. Hammers can't kill a boss.
Who has flown myself up with gunpowder gamble quite a bit. It's kind of the double-edged sword there.
Fair, fun. But what I'm saying is there wasn't enough
super heals.
That's all. He just said it right there. All we got was super healing. When in reality, you can still kill them
and just bonk everything to death.
And that was what Bungie was afraid of, was bonking. That's why we got nothing with Solar. So and also shoulder charge still can't kill somebody. That's what I was even talking to Jade Rabbit Emperor about on TikTok, where I was like, yo, don't use MK44 standicides because you can't do shit with shoulder charge. Because so many people complained about shoulder charge one-shotting, even though Hunters and Warlocks all have abilities that can one-shot anyway, but whatever. At the very least, with each new 3.0 that came out, there should be a thing with shoulder charge to make it so it's semi-lethal or able to be used without you being killed. Because I don't know how many times I've tried to use shoulder charge, and I'm trapped in the animation and someone just shotguns me because I didn't do enough damage. So
I have died to a shoulder.
So one thing that I want.
Sad that it got taken from.
Hey, yo, throwing knives are calling your name. Yo, throwing knives can one shot people.
Back to Arc 3.0.
Yes, back to Arc 3.0. So what I want,
just make Fist of Havoc actually do something.
And here's the thing, like, because Fist of Havoc can kind of do a thing still in PvP. What I'm saying specifically is treat the sandboxes like separate entities the way you are supposed to. Because right now, Fists of Havoc, you can't take Fists of Havoc into Grandmasters. You can't take Fists of Havoc into a raid. You can't. The most you can do is use Fists of Havoc in a strike playlist. You can't use it anywhere. Boring. Yes. Like, it doesn't last long enough to do anything. It feels like you barely did anything from the super from D1 besides the slam. It doesn't do enough to make it worth it. In PvP, if you somehow get it off because the super timer is so long, like, you could kill somebody in a bubble, which is kind of cool. But in general, Fists of Havoc doesn't do anything. So make it do something. And also, the other thing that I want is, for shoulder charge specifically, make it so if you're gonna like not change anything damage-wise with it, make it so each shoulder charge from each element does an effect. Like, oh, if I hit you with Solar Shoulder Charge, it ignites you and you have a chance to die. If I hit you with Void Shoulder Charge, hey, maybe give me an overshield because I'm shield bashing. I shouldn't be able to get shotgunned through a shield as I'm shield bashing you. Maybe give me the overshield that MK44 stand-aside should be giving me. Maybe give me that. And then for Arc Shoulder Charge, make it blind. Make it blind the same way a blinding grenade can. That way you can escape the animation and possibly have a follow-up attack the same way that hunters will throw a throwing knife and then be able to do something else and not be trapped in an animation. Or same thing with Warlocks and the Pocket Singularity. They have other moves. So
speaking of Warlocks.
Oh yeah, Warlocks are my other thing. Go ahead.
I think the lightning hands, the Palpatine hands.
There's two different versions. There's the top one, and there's Landfall. Landfall is like there's the Blink, and then there's Landfall. Blink is top, Landfall is bottom.
I've never played with Landfall, so I'm sorry, Warlocks. I usually play on my Warlock a lot when I'm not on my Titan. I have no idea what that super does or that tree does at all. But top tree, I like. I think we should just keep it.
Because you can just blink around and be an idiot. Now, my thing for Warlocks, I really feel like they need to put Chaos Reach back where it was.
Yes.
Because here was the issue. Oh my god.
I don't care. Plus your Titan.
Freaking Prismatics over here posting gifs while we're literally talking about a podcast. Oh, you're a hooligan. I love you, but you're a hooligan. So the thing I want with the reason why I say Chaos Reach should go back to the way, and this is me as a Titan talking about Warlocks, because the reason why Bungie did so much damage to Chaos Reach is because there was an issue where it was shooting through walls. Not that it was doing too much damage to things, because it literally is a Kamehameha. It literally, from anime, for Dragon Ball Z, if people don't know that. It's supposed to be a giant blast. It's supposed to have a short timer and do a lot of damage. Second thing, like a Thunder Crash. It's supposed to do a lot of damage in a small amount of time. So, the reason why they nerfed it is because for some reason it was able to shoot through walls. Hey, Bungie, just fix your collision and stop it from shooting through walls. And make the freaking exotic that was supposed to go with it, Geomax stabilizers, put them back to what they were supposed to be. Because at this point, Geomax stabilizers don't do anything. They just top off your boots. They don't do anything in regards to helping you with the super. So put those back to where they were. Put Chaos Reach back damage-wise where it was, and give it a stronger timer. Because otherwise, yeah, like Toll said, like the other two supers ain't doing much, and also just buff landfall because, well, it will make, first of all, just make landfall and blink the same super because the only difference between the two is that one can do small teleports and the other one just does like a giant explosion when you first pop it. So just combine the two and be done with it. And then just make them both stronger and give Warlocks a reason to use them other than just Arc Soul. Because Arc Soul's the only reason why people use it. Let's be 100% honest here.
So they should just make Arc Soul an aspect. That way, no matter what you're using, you always get it.
Chaos Breach Arc Soul sounds kind of terrifying, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Exactly. That's what That's what it's supposed to be. Like, you're playing against a Warlock, and it's like, oh, they have Starfire Protocol and the fusion grenades that can blow up twice. That's scary.
Yeah, that is kind of scary. You're right. So yeah, Warlocks just need to get more power. Hunters need a new super, and Titans
just need to tweak it and buff it up.
Yeah, like it's that's much where it's at. Warlocks and Titans need more power, and Hunters need a new super.
Now,
and
I was playing with my Hunter, and I was playing with top tree, whatever, the top tree of Arc, and I was just liking the fact that I could just run around and just spam punch everybody with my powered melee, dodge, get it back, dodge, get my powered melee back, and keep punching stuff. And then the more you punch stuff, the longer your reach get. You get a reach and then a melee buff. And I'm like, that's pretty cool coming from a Titan, where I can just run around and punch stuff. Everybody's like, oh, Titan, go around and punch stuff. Exactly. So I'm thinking they should keep top tree for Hunters and make that an aspect. Because that is so cool.
It really is.
It's the only unique thing Hunter, other than being able to reflect supers, that Hunters have.
He's right. Hunters need some more love. Now,
Hunters need love in Arc. Arc needs love.
Like Arc needs love. Titan like stuff in general. Also, like they need to make Titan exotics that work with Arc actually matter. And the reason why I say that is Eternal Warriors is supposed to give you an overshield when you first pop Fists of Havoc, but it doesn't do anything else. Like the overshield doesn't recharge. The overshield only has a small benefit. If anything, Eternal Warrior looks god awful. It looks so ugly.
It's and such a great exotic.
If anything, it should give you overshield when you shoulder charge, the same way that Stannis Eye should do, but don't. Like it shouldn't just be, oh, you get an overshield when you pop your super.
You know what I think it should do?
What?
You should make it so you can just shoulder charge around the map without losing super energy until you hit somebody.
That'd be kind of cool.
But you don't get an overshield. You get a stupid ass movement boost now. Where you can just shoulder charge.
And then once you hit somebody, it's gone.
Yeah, it depends on how much you shoulder charge. And yeah,
that'd be kind of cool. Yeah. The other thing that I was kind of annoyed by is Curus and the Falling Star. The reason why I say that is Curus shouldn't be the thing that makes Thunder Crash powerful. Thunder Crash should just be able to do stuff, and then like the chess piece gives you the overshield or like has another after effect. Like Thunder Crash, because Thunder Crash prior to Curus didn't do anything. Nobody used it. It wasn't there for anything. It just existed. So it took a whole ass exotic for a super to do a thing. That should not be the case at all. Like, does that make sense?
No, it makes sense.
Like, I feel like Prismatic's in the corner, like, no.
No, I'm sitting here shaking my head because I didn't use Thunder Crash for the longest time because I'd always miss my target.
Honestly, fair.
There are still times I've missed my target.
Maybe it should just extend the duration a lot more instead of
like if the chess piece extended the duration and then gave you the overshield, that'd be great. But like
and extend the duration even more.
Yeah, like the super should be able to The super should be able to do damage on its own Because there's so many times, I kid you not, where I would love to wear Aeon Souls in a GM, but not have to wear Curious of the Falling Star just to use Thunder Crash, if that makes sense. Like, I would be able to help my team and be utility, but still have a strong super. Because Blade Barrage does all that damage now, but doesn't need the like an exotic to do it. Why Nova Bomb does a ton of burst damage, but doesn't need an exotic to do it. Why does Thunder Crash need the chess piece to do that much damage? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Now we're going to talk about what Toll is worried about.
Ooh, what are you worried about, Toll?
I am worried about blinding grenades. I am scared because people don't realize how busted they can be.
That's why they have a long charge, Toll.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm worried about is Hunters getting the flashbang grenade that Titans have.
That's what I'm talking about.
No, I'm not because blinding grenades are different than flashbang grenades. I'm worried about Hunters getting flashbang grenades and abusing them the same way they already do with tripwire grenades. I'm worried about that.
We're on the same page. I'm talking about the flashbangs that Titans have.
Listen, Linda.
Beyond every class now, and it's like, oh god, people are going to be running that plus blinding grenades. So you're just going to be, where am I? You're going to be like, oh good, you're awake.
I mean,
that was a niche
think we all
reference.
know here that Hunters are probably going to get the short end of the stick. So if all I get are the fancy grenades, then I mean,
honestly,
yeah, I feel bad because like we all want y'all to get a super, but I don't know if it's going to happen.
You know what?
You're going to manifest it for me, Toll.
I'm going to think positive. Hunters, you're getting a new super. We're manifesting good energy so that Bungo will actually do a good job and people won't be upset for a week.
So the one thing that I was asked on TikTok about, like what we like about Arc 3.0 is what exactly.
Oh, I hope they fix Anarchy.
Oh yeah, no, Anarchy better get a boost for Arc 3.0. I was thinking like armor exotic. See, and we talked about that, about how like they took it away not because it was powerful, but because people were doing the old D1 thing of must have G-Horn. It wasn't, oh, this is powerful. It's, oh, people are being mean to each other and the teacher needs to take away the toys.
It shouldn't be punished.
That's the problem I have. It's called right, like it should be a situation of, hey, why not make Spoils of Conquest easier to get and not take away Templar farming? Why not make it so they're easier to grind and make an alternative thing? Hey, here's an idea for you, Bungie. Why not make Spoils of Conquest be obtainable from dungeons? That way, people who aren't comfortable doing raids, because there's so many people that I hear about who aren't comfortable with raiding because like a bad experience is a yada yada, which we tell you all the time, we will teach you raids. We don't care what your walk of life is. We will teach anybody a raid. But
bring any kind of gun.
Speaking of,
bring any gun. We will get you through the raid. But if you still don't want to do that, and you don't want to break out of the map just to get Spoils of Conquest, or do Shurochi, well, Shurochi can't even give you spoils anymore, or like do the opening checkpoint of Vow. If you don't want to do all that, why not put spoils in dungeons? That way people can get those on their own or with two friends and make it more accessible. Because that way you can rebuff Anarchy and people won't complain.
Now, I am excited for the Crown of Tempests. Because Xur sold that role a few weeks ago and I've been sitting on it.
Yeah.
Sitting on it, waiting for it to be useful. And I'm excited because I got that God roll and I'm just like, I want to use it.
So yeah, for Warlocks, it's definitely going to be Crown of Tempest will be big. I'm going to say Mantle of Battle Harmony is going to get some work. Specifically, also Storm Dancer's Brace is finally going to actually be meta, I think, which will be really cool. You're going to see a lot of Getaway Artists because of what Getaway Artist does. It gives you a pocket Arc Soul. So get ready for that. You can convert your grenade into an Arc Soul. Geomag hopefully will make a comeback.
Geomag's making a comeback.
Hopefully. I want to see Vesper of Radius do a thing. I want to see it. I need Vesper of Radius to do a thing.
here is... Now I have an exotic. I don't know what's going to happen to it.
What's up?
Raiju's Harness.
Ooh.
I don't know what's going to happen to it when Arc 3.0 comes out, because it doesn't... The way it works is deactivate Whirlwind Guard early. Guarding does not consume extra super energy. It's super basic, but it's like we don't know what's going to happen when Arc 3.0 comes out. And they changed some stuff, so I'm a little worried for it. I hope it gets a buff, because it's a really interesting chess piece.
I will say this, if they buff arc grenades at all, you're going to see a lot of people using Shinobu's Vow. I'm going to tell you that right now.
What is that?
Shinobu's Vow is a hunter arm that boosts the damage and the range of your
absolutely abused during Crimson days. So you could just sit back and chuck them.
Mm-hmm. There was one time during trials where someone abused him for a while.
I was playing Crimson Days with a friend of mine, and I got a hate message saying, "Oh, do you guys always play back like cowards?" Excuse me?
And also, you're going to see a lot of Lucky Raspberry from Hunters too, because of Arc Bolt grenades. So you'll definitely see some work out of that. I will say that much.
Oh no, mine's for Titans.
Oh, go ahead, Prisma. I'm going to cut you off. Okay. For Titans specifically, you're going to see you just need to get a Curus of the Falling Star. Like either they're going to buff it or they're going to do something to it. You're going to need it. You're gonna see, like, I'm gonna say, you're gonna see a lot of people saying Heart of Inmost Light, because every 3.0 / Stasis subclass has been able to utilize Heart of Inmost Light, so definitely get that. I want to see Eternal Warrior do a thing, but it probably won't do a thing, which is gonna depress me. You're definitely gonna see Insurmountable Skullfort make a triumphant comeback. And just have a pair of Doom Marchers on hand, because I feel like Doom Marchers are going to get some like synergy with Arc 3.0, because they're probably going to have some Chain Lightning things go on the same way Doom Marchers already do, which I think that was the whole reason why they nerfed Doom Marchers a while back, because they're going to start throwing in more Chain Lightning abilities with Arc 3.0. Because if a Titan can punch you, make Chain Lightning, and then have more Chain Lightning off of Doom Marchers, that'd be kind of extreme. So they were kind of like preemptively doing that.
I would like to see the ACD feedbacks get some love, because those were my favorite things to wear, but the feedback does almost nothing unless you're a thrall. Oh. I would love to see those get a buff, because I love wearing them so much.
Honestly, I feel like feedback fences need to give you the capability to like have some damage put out, not just for melee damage, but like if a hunter throws a throwing knife at you, I feel like something should happen. Whether it's like arc, like an arc blast, like outburst, the same way Vesper
Chain Lightning, like that one Warlock
or like
grenade.
Something, because
my whole thing is like nobody uses them anymore because they don't hit like I think they should. So like I want to give me a Titan exotic where I wear it and people are like, fuck.
Yeah, that'd be yeah. And also like do something with what is it? Freaking I just want Eternal Warrior to do a thing. I'm sorry. I'm still stuck on
there's an exotic I've never heard of, because I was looking at Light GG for exotics, Arc exotics.
Uh-huh.
The Hunter had the Blight Ranger.
What?
The Blight
Ranger?
Is that
Witch Queen?
Witch Queen?
Witch Queen.
Oh yeah, Blight Ranger just came out, and like it does, because it's supposed to fucking, what does it do? Attacks you to redirect your arc. Yeah, go ahead.
Attacks you redirect with your arc staff, massively deal increased damage, and generate orbs of power for your allies.
That's going to be really helpful if Arc 3.0 does a thing, but like nobody cared about it when they announced it because it didn't really do a thing.
Like, it's cool, but it's like, I can just use Ursa Furiosa. You can just have a Titan use Ursa Furiosa and kind of get the same effect.
Honestly, yeah. Like if there was a way for a hunter to use Arc Staff and GM content to do what Ursa does,
so back in March, Blight Ranger was actually disabled because it was giving things a 5 times damage buff.
Oh, well, shit. Didn't know that. So, like, Blight Ranger should be able to do a thing without being that busted.
It was also giving one of the supers a 600% damage boost. Yep. But then, of course, they disabled it.
Jesus Christ. Okay. All right. So, I think we talked about, which disabling needs to be more preemptive, but whatever. So that's our talk about R 3.0. We definitely will review R 3.0 when it drops, but we wanted to like give some talk about it now. The other topic that we wanted to talk about is the current state of the game when it comes to new players. Because Paul Tassi, a well-known Forbes writer and YouTuber, put out some videos recently talking about the current state of the game and the current retention rate of players, because we're noticing, especially with the data that's been released, that not a whole lot of players are staying active in the game, primarily because of the fact that other than like the opening Shao Han quest that's been around since Beyond Light, there isn't really anything for new players to engage with ever, because what happened before Beyond Light, there was a situation where the game was primarily free to play other than Forsaken and Shadowkeep. You had all of the year one stuff was free, Red War, Warmind, and Curse of Osiris, which that was debatably a problem because people had paid for that content. But it was still a healthy environment for new players to come in, sort of figure out what the game was about, get some good guns, and start playing the higher level content, and possibly buy the expansions that they wanted to. Now, we are in a situation where, other than the opening mission with Shao Han, the hunter helper guy, and the free prophecy dungeon, the 30th anniversary event, Dares of Eternity, Vault of Glass, normal gameplay playlists like Strikes, Crucible, and Gambit. There in and then this coming month we'll have the returning D1 raid, whether it's Kingsfall or Wrath of the Machine. Other than that, there is nothing for new light players to do. Like unless you buy an expansion. There's nothing free to play for people to actually mess with, and people are concerned about this experience for new players because Bungie has said they're not changing anything about the new light experience until after the Light and Darkness saga has concluded with Final Shape. So we have about a year and a half worth of time where there's nothing changing for new players. And I find that very concerning. And as a group, we find that concerning, so we wanted to talk about that. So Prismatic was very opinionated about this off mic earlier, and I wanted to give them the floor.
I agree. Like, you have a 45-minute mission coming into a brand new game that doesn't really teach you that doesn't give you enough time to really get a grasp for the game. Plus, you have people like me who have been around since the game launched, who we were, with this whole content vaulting stuff, they got rid of all of this content that we already paid for, that they made free to play, but it gave new lights a place to run around and really get a feel for the game and if they liked it or not. I mean, you didn't have to wait in real time like we did for the Red War, Curse of Osiris, Warmind, all these subpar when they came out expansions. Now you have all this content that you can blow through and actually figure out if you like the game or not. Now you have a 45-minute mission, and it essentially dumps you into the grind of, weekly pinnacles or things like the 30th anniversary Dares of Eternity, which is going to make no sense if you have no idea who Zur is. Like, if you haven't been in the game, you're not going to understand how absolutely fucking ridiculous his commentary is in there. They vaulted a bunch of stuff now, and it always comes up that new lights are going to have no idea who Cade is at all. Love him, hate him, they're not going to know who he is, but he still has voice lines in random strikes and patrols. So they vaulted all this content, and
it's very odd.
Like Paul Tassi was saying, like, they have almost no, like, here's what you missed on Destiny. Like, they have a very bland kind of timeline thing, but there's no way that it's presented to actually give you the full weight of the story so far. And he said, you have people like Bife or the like other lore creators who make these really in-depth videos and will give you a great background, but it's kind of like the lore cards in D1. You're locking them on a completely different platform and you're forcing people to go and search them out. I personally think they should pad the timeline and maybe add like the seasonal trailers that they released or like the cutscenes we normally get at the beginning of the seasons, because then you could actually see like, oh, this was the Red War, this is everything that happened. Oh, Warmind came out, this is what happened. Then you have Curse of Osiris, this is what happened. Like, actually give people an in-depth look at what has happened so far, because I don't think you can expect them to get immersed in one tiny introductory mission on the Cosmodrome. And this is somebody I played and burned through so much content of D1 in 6 months, and then I've been playing this game since it came out, and I am very much of this thing where my friends come back, or my friends are like, oh, you play Destiny, like, where do I start? And I'm like, I don't actually know. Because all this stuff is gone, and I haven't had a brand new character in literal years.
Exactly. And the thing about it is, like, me and Toll this past week had to go back through the new light quests on our alternate characters, and I just never had done the new quest on my alternate characters.
Yep.
And it was a situation of once you burn through that, there's nothing to do. Like it felt also like. One thing that we keep running into with newer players is they don't understand the level grind. Like I'll meet a new player, they're like, I don't have anything to do. Go grind your pinnacles. What's a pinnacle? Go grind your powerfuls. What's a powerful? Like, granted, Bungie has done recent, like it took them till like I believe it was last season to re-explain what powerfuls and pinnacles were for the community. But the thing about it is, and I've talked about this on TikTok. Not everyone knows what the twab is. And not only that, unless you're honed into a creator like Asdacross on YouTube who like literally reads you the twab, not everyone wants to read that giant block of text like we do. Because we're sitting here talking about the twab on the podcast. Not everybody wants to consume the information that way.
You can even go to Rick Cactus.
You can go to Cactus, you can go to Cross, you can go whoever the heck you want. But at the same time, not everyone knows where those resources are. So for a new light player that has no idea what's going on, the game is a mess. Like, here's a fun tidbit for everyone. Up until Witch Queen, nobody knew where the Hive came from unless they read the lore books. Like, unless you watched a Byte video or you read the lore books even before D1, like unless you read the Books of Sorrow, you had no idea what the Hive were, what made them the way they were, what a worm god was. You did not know where they came from. And when that cutscene dropped in Witch Queen of Savathun's younger self, Zathona, holding that worm, you didn't know what the heck was going on. And that's sort of the problem of the game is they don't fully know how to translate everything for the casual audience. We're over here reading the lore books because we love this content. Not everybody.
I watch Byte videos. I don't read those at all.
Well, you consume the information in one way or another, but not everybody knows how to do that. And Bungie never has been good at doing that. They expect Byte or whoever to do it for them rather than doing what they should be doing. You should be paying Lance Reddick to come in and explain what happened in the Red War in a cutscene. You should have like Ikora's new voice actress doing the same thing. Like somebody, like anybody. Freaking have Rahul do it. I don't care. Just have somebody freaking do it.
It should be Tess. It should be Tess Eververse.
Nah, fuck.
Oh, you know, give it to Amanda Holiday. Let her
give it to Holiday.
Do something.
You still no. Get your pro bias out of here. You get to throw shade at Holiday.
Bring back the speaker's voice actor.
Oh, anyway.
New Light's gonna have no idea who the speaker is either. They're gonna be like, what is this mask that's in Zavala's office randomly? Like,
Right. Like, here's the thing that I will always say. That whole excuse of, oh, the game's getting too big. Do you realize how big Call of Duty's files are? Do you realize how big GTA's files are? GTA was over 100 gigabytes when I downloaded. They had it for free last month on PSN. I downloaded that thing. It was over 100 gigabytes. That's just a place fine. There is no reason why all of the Red War campaign, Curse of Osiris, Warmind, and all of the seasonal content that we have couldn't still be in the game. Because, like, or at least in a structure similarly to what you've done with the Witch Queen right now, where you can go back, click this mission, play this mission, and still be able to understand what's going on.
Leave the missions on the map and just put the symbol by them so you know where they came from. And then you could still potentially, like, put the symbol in a number. Then you could still potentially play through the actual old content and see the story actually unfold.
Like, right. Like, there's a whole Legends tab. And all the Legends tab is the freaking 30th. Well, it's Prophecy and the Vogue. There's so much more stuff you could put in the Legends tab.
It's like, logistically, how hard is it to just put all those old campaigns just in the Legends tab? So, legit. Destiny 2 on PlayStation 4, I have everything downloaded. I got every DLC. It's 80.96 gigabytes.
And it functions fine.
Compared to, let me find.
Man's is on his PlayStation.
3, 125 gigabytes.
And plays fine.
And it plays fine.
Like that storage excuse was so dumb, and I didn't even believe it when it happened. And the thing about it is, we're not like being critical to be mean to the devs. We're not saying we're not issuing them death threats like other assholes. We're legit trying to say
questioning.
We don't know what's going on.
Reason.
We're pulling a Cardi B and going, what was the reason? Like the things you told us don't make sense.
Cyberpunk runs worse than that, and it's like
my
30 gigabytes less.
If you take a game that is visually stunning, like Warframe, like all of Warframe's DLC is free, all of their stuff is gorgeous, their storytelling is amazing. They don't cut content, so why did Destiny have to?
And it's like I get it, you want to rotate stuff out, but people paid for that. Like, I will give them the benefit of the doubt when it came to the Red War, Curse of Osiris, and Warmind, because you wanted to make an experience more accessible to new players. I will give you the benefit of the doubt. But when it comes to getting rid of it, all of that Forsaken, Shadowkeep, it all should stay as a cohesive thing in the Legends. Because if you want to eliminate stuff from the map to make it look less cluttered, cool. Put it in the Legends tab.
Or just make it its own campaign tab.
Yeah, you just said it right there. Make it its own campaign tab. Like, hell.
And you can cut so much fluff from the missions itself.
Uh-huh.
There was, especially from like the Red War campaign, you can cut the part where like you go get your super. I know that's like a big part of it, but it's like you could cut part of that. You could shorten it.
And like, there was one thing also Tassie said, where there was a whole uprising against Ubisoft last month for saying they were going to take DLCs off of Steam and other marketplaces for things like Assassin's Creed Liberation and a bunch of their old games, even though people bought that content. And yet, for Destiny players, we've already had that done and we've accepted that. But there was a literal uprising where people were like, review bombing Assassin's Creed games and
Far Cry
games. But for Destiny, that's just a fact of life.
Yeah, as somebody who's hundreds of dollars sunk into this game, buying things as soon as they come out with all 4 seasons of the season pass, listen, not having to wait forever in a goddamn day to fly into the tower was nice, but I would like my older content. I would like to be able to go back and do 0 Hour, Whisper of the Worm. Give me more 6 people activity. Let me take New Lights through the menagerie.
I want to press it again.
Yes. Right. Like, yeah. You just said it right there. Perfect. Like, I love that.
Let me just take people through content. Let me do the old content.
There's seasonal content, and like
bring the Leviathan back, that means you can just shove the raid in.
And the thing about it is, if you go to the Leviathan right now, I think I mentioned this on the last episode. If you go to the Leviathan right now and just do the little like public event activity thing, the purging or whatever the heck it's called, like to kill like the nightmares, you can take sunsetted weapons in there, and it will do the same amount of damage your highlight gear will do, because that the Leviathan is still built as if it's part of the raid. That tells you right there that they could put it back if they wanted to.
Right.
So, like, yeah. Go ahead.
Another thing he did mention,
I need to take a break from bitching.
That kind of ties into both the new light stuff and the content vaulting stuff was the mod vendors. They just need to go. Like, we don't need these mods on a weekly fucking rotation. Give everybody the mods. Right. If you want to keep certain ones locked in their activity, like the Taken spec, like to go do Last Wish, or just go get the free chest, you can eventually get Taken spec. That's how I got it. But it shouldn't have to be like, oh yeah, maybe you'll get the mods you need.
Or like one thing that I even thought of, like, why not just have, like, especially because Glimmer is such an easy commodity to get, why not make mods cost the mod components or like a currency like shards or whatever, and have Ada have a big like encyclopedia and say like, yo, like heavy handed is worth like 100 shards, certain amount of enhancement cores, whatever the fuck else, and that be something for new lights to strive for. They find out from a YouTuber.
Even returning players, because I took a year off. I'm missing so many mods.
That was the whole reason.
Protective Light.
Right, and you just reminded me. That was the whole reason why they nerfed Protective Light, which they even said in the twab, not because it's too powerful, but because of the fact that it's so high in demand. Maybe if you took it out of Ada's rotation and made it more accessible, people could get it. People could use it. But instead, we're playing this gacha game with Ada 1, which prior to Ada 1 coming back into the game with the stupid loom system, which screw the loom system, make that be a different vendor and let Ada have the forges back, Bungie. But whatever. Like all the mod, every mod in the game was with Banshee. Whether it was armor mods or gun mods, every mod was with Banshee, which made them even harder to get. So get rid of the stupid rotation, make them more accessible for new players, and just be done with it. Or at the very least, put them on the helm in the original activities where they were. Like all the elemental mods, put them on the helm where they were, where you got them from the Season of the Lost, Season of the Risen, and whatnot. Like all the different seasonal vendors and things we can do, that stuff shouldn't have left the game. Perfect example. People who did Season of the Dawn content. Once Season of Arrivals kicked in, that giant corridors through time like thing to get Bastion that all the content creators and raid secrets spent so long doing, that left the game after like 2 weeks. Like it was gone. Now, once Season of Arrivals came in, it was gone. That like you didn't have the system where we have now with Beyond Light, where like seasonal content could go be replayed. When Season of Arrivals came out, you couldn't go back and play that old content. It was gone. Like you couldn't go back and do the stuff with Save 14 or whatever. Because if that was the case, I would have bought Shadowkeep when I came back during Season of Arrivals and did that with Save. But we couldn't get to do that. So now all this content is just gone and no one can enjoy it. And I think that's a problem.
It's a really big problem.
It just, yeah. So that's the end of our rant. We will be back next week with a brand new episode. We don't know what we're going to talk about yet. We might do some more stuff because, like, there's a lot going on. I think one thing we will do next week, though, is talk about bounty prep because Toll is frustrated.
I'm frustrated because I don't understand what's going on. Finally, I know what's going on, but it took me so long to, like, understand.
And wrap his head around it.
So, when I say don't worry about not understanding bounty prep or what's going on, because I don't.
Like, because we're prepping for the day one raid, because we're not going to, like, do the race, but we're at least going to get a 24-hour clear. And Toll's just like, what's going on? So, get ready for that. I'm also going to save my rant about blue armor for next week. But best believe Panda's going to be upset about blue armor next week. Especially with tomorrow with me doing GMs. Best believe I'm going to be complaining about blue armor next week. Prismatic, do you have a closing thought to share with the people for this week?
Be nice to each other. Help out your new lights. I know we just talked about how they're lost and they don't really have a whole lot to do. I personally, when I see new lights, especially even in D1 nowadays, but be nice to your new lights. Help them out. Don't fucking eager edge them off of shit and just kill them and laugh at them. Like, be nicer to the community. We're having a lot of really shitty negative things come to light right now that are happening, and a lot of people are trying to shake their heads and be like, no, that doesn't happen. It's just a few bad apples. It happens quite a bit. And there's too much going on to bring that into a video game, so just be nicer to your fellow Guardians. People in general.
Also, I'm guessing you want to say give Hunters a super.
Well, that I will say that myself. Please give Hunters a super. They deserve to have something nice.
You know it's bad when the Titan mains are like, give Hunters something.
Because like they got really good stuff.
Oh, see,
Void
we got
3.0.
really good stuff with Void 3.0, and then they made it so that Tether and Divinity cancel each other out, and Divinity always wins now. Even more.
No, that's always been a thing. That's always been a thing. Yeah, that like the tether and div thing is always. It's not that they cancel each other out. Is that they're both debuffs that work against each other. So the game has to choose one, and because of div doing more debuff, it chooses div. That's always been what's happened. So yes, please give Hunters some help, Bungie.
Give every class some love this time around, please.
Yeah, like Solar was a bit controversial. Just give everybody something to play with. And also, can we please make the consecration hammers be one big hammer, please? Like, that's all I'm asking. Like, I never understood that. Like, why give us two small hammers? Because the whole point of the Burning Maul super is to drop a big hammer on the ground. Why not make consecration one big hammer? But that's beside the point. So, but we will catch you, Starside Guardians. We will catch you next week.